Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is July the 30th, 2023. You're welcome to today's program. Sorry that I started late. How are you guys doing? Today is going to be, this broadcast is going to be for fans engagement question period time. All right. Uh, At the same time, I'm going to be entertaining questions. At the same time, I'm going to be entertaining questions and then doing some other topic outside. So you are welcome to today's program, Living with Diabetics, or if you are watching me from Managing Diabetics TV, you are welcome. If you are watching me from Living with Diabetics, you are all welcome. You are all welcome. Okay? You are all welcome. So, how are you guys doing? Okay. How are you guys doing? You are welcome to today's program, Fans Engagement Question Period. I will be discussing uh, blood sugar ranges. I'll be discussing about blood sugar level chart for type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and at the same time, entertaining questions. Okay. I will be discussing, I'll be taking questions. Today is, I'm spending an hour with you guys, entertaining question, and at the same time, I'm going to be discussing blood sugar level ranges for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So I'm going to be doing two things in one. You are welcome to today's program. I know it's about 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. in some West African countries, or South African countries, or North American countries. You are welcome. If you're watching me from any continent, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. As I said, this is fans engagement time to entertain any question, and at the same time, I will be discussing another topic, which is blood sugar level ranges for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Okay, so I'll be doing two in one, so I'll be mixing it up. All right, if I don't see any question, um, then I will go into discussing other topics. All right. So I'll be doing two in one. I will be discussing blood sugar level chart for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. And at the same time, I'm going to be entertaining questions. Okay. We're going to be discussing two things in one in this broadcast. So I know um, the title says fans engagement question period. But at the same time, I'm going to be discussing blood sugar level charts for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Okay. So I'll be doing two in one. I'll be doing two in one right away. Okay. So if I don't see any question to entertain, then I will continue discussing other topic. All right. I will continue discussing other topic. So let's get to it now and see what we can do. All right. So while I'm waiting for questions to come in, I'm going to go ahead and start my discussions on what I'll be discussing in total. All right, please indicate for me where you're watching me from. I'd like to know where you're watching me from. Okay, let me know where you are watching me from. All right, so let's get ahead. So I'm going to be discussing blood sugar level charts for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Is what I'll be discussing while I'm. Let me post it on the screen. Um, going to post it on the screen. Right, let me post it on the screen and then I post it on the screen. Okay. So this is what I'm going to be discussing. I'm going to be discussing this topic, and then on the side, I'm going to be entertaining questions from my fans. Okay. I wanted to do this video just to answer questions from my fan. But while I'm waiting for questions, I'm going to be discussing this particular topic. This is what I'm going to be discussing while waiting for questions. All right, blood sugar level chart for type 1 and type 2 diabetics. This is what we are going to be covering today. Okay, it is very important we all understand our sugar level charts and know how to deal with it. Understanding your sugar level charts helps you a long way in how to manage your diabetes. It's very, very important, critical for you to understand the blood sugar level charts. They are critical. They are very, very critical in learning and managing and living with diabetes. So this is what I'm going to be discussing while I'm going to be waiting for questions. So if there are any question that comes in, then I'm going to deviate and put the discussion on hold and then answer the questions and then go back and continue what I will be discussing. Okay. So this is what we will be discussing today. Okay. All right. I'm going to use, okay. So that is the topic we'll be discussing today. So when your blood sugar level falls within the recommended ranges, it is a sign your diabetes treatment and management plan is working. You and your doctor can determine your exact blood sugar targets. Okay? So when your blood sugar level fall within the recommended ranges, it is a sign your diabetes treatment and management plan is working. You and your doctor can determine your exact blood sugar targets. Okay? It is very important to work hand in hand with your doctor in managing your diabetes, in treating your diabetes. Remember, I said diabetes has no cure. You cannot cure diabetes, rather, you can manage diabetes. You have to live and manage it. That is one chronic illness that has no cure yet. But can it be treated? Yes. Can you live with it? Yes. Can you live a normal life? Yes. But the question is, you have to learn how to manage diabetes and how to live with it. And everything revolves around you as a patient and then your doctor in one hand. Your doctor is going to deal with it in a professional level in treating your diabetes. It's left for you to know if you want to adhere, listen to your doctor's guidelines in treating that diabetes. Doctor has a limit he or she can go. It is left for you when you are not in the vicinity of your doctor's office, when you are at home. Are you taking those precautions? Are you listening to your doctor in living and managing your diabetes? Your doctor can scream from now to heaven's fall, but it depends on the patient. Can he or she be disciplined in following the doctor's guidelines and following the treatment patterns to achieve at the target range of your blood sugar level? That is one part that you have to deal with. Okay? That is one part that you have to deal with. Let me post this. July is the 30th. Okay. So when your blood sugar levels falls within the recommended ranges, it is a sign your diabetes treatment and management plan is working. You and your doctor can determine your exact blood sugar target. Okay. So blood sugar level chart for type 1 and type 2 diabetes, it is what I'm discussing right away. And once I get any question, then I will answer those questions. So it is important you follow what I'm saying. Diabetes impact. Diabetes impact your body's ability to control the blood sugar levels, which is glucose level. And uncontrolled blood sugar levels can lead to serious complications, which is why monitoring your blood sugar and keeping it within the recommended ranges is so important. Okay, so we all know that. We have been saying it all along from the beginning that the best way to manage your diabetes is monitoring your sugar level and make sure that it's within the recommended ranges, and then you are following the treatment patterns. What are those treatment patterns? Is dieting, exercising, taking your medications, and then reducing your weight. All those have to go hand in hand to achieve those target ranges. And in order to avoid any complications of diabetes, you must at all times, okay, make sure you are controlling the sugar level, that it falls within the target range. Because an uncontrolled blood sugar in ranges can lead to serious complications. And we all know what those complications are. They can be devastating and very potent and even fatal to your life. So it is very important at all times you follow the doctor's instructions and follow those components in managing your diabetes. And I've said it before, one is medication, the other one is dieting, the next one is exercising, and the other one is reducing your weight. All these four components will go hand in hand in managing your diabetes. You can take your medications from now to heaven's fall. If you're not balancing your diet, if you're not exercising, and if you're not reducing your weight, your medication alone cannot work. Your medication have to work hand in hand with balancing your diet. That means you have to eat a healthy diet, learning how to count your carbs. It's very important. You must know how to count your carbs. Remember, we have the complex carbs and we have the simple carbs. You must understand what type of carb your body needs, increase your fiber and less carbs, okay? And at the same time, reducing your weight. All these have to fall hand in hand in managing your diabetes. It's very, very important that you understand the critical illness of managing diabetes have to fall within those four components. One is you have to take your medications as recommended, prescribed by your doctor or your physician. Two, you have to eat a healthy diet, balance your diet very well. Three, you have to exercise. And then four, you have to reduce your weight. All these four components work hand in hand to achieve those target ranges in your blood sugar levels. Okay? So understanding those techniques now is going to help you to avoid those complications that you are being scared of. All right, we're going to talk about the complications later. So, as I said, when your blood sugar levels fall within the recommended ranges, it's a sign that your diabetes treatment and management plan is working. You and your doctor can determine your exact blood sugar ranges. Okay. So once you see that your blood sugar levels in the first 3 months is fall within the normal range, at least once you're diabetes, you have to go on a quarterly to do a blood work. Okay, so every 3 months you are doing a blood work, check your glucose level, your A1C levels. The next 3 months, so every 3 months, once your blood sugar level stays within the recommended ranges for the first 3 months, second 3 months, up to a year to 2 years, then it means that is what doctors evaluate to see if your treatment is working. Okay, So that is why it's advisable to make sure that every 3 months you have to do a blood work to check your A1C levels, check your sugar levels, check your kidney and liver, check your potassium, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. Every 3 months, this is how doctors evaluate your treatment, if it is working or if it is not working. All right. So your recommended blood sugar range can be impacted by a variety of factors such as age, overall health, and diabetes management tools. Okay. So that is one fact that you have to understand. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Now I understand. So your recommended blood sugar level can help you determine whether your blood sugar is in a normal range. Okay, in the normal range. All right. So let me remove that, and then I think there's a question that is coming in. Let me pull up this question. Just hold on, please. I have a question that is coming in. Just want to see this question. Somebody is asking me if this question just coming now. Uh, Somebody is asking me, is 5.7 blood sugar normal? Yes. Okay. Less than 100 milligram per deciliter, 5.6 millimeter per mole, millimole per liter is normal. So 5.7, yes, is normal. Anything less than 100 milligram per deciliter, which is 5.6 millimole per deciliter, is normal. 100 to 125 milligram per deciliter or 5.6 to 6.9 is diagnosed as prediabetics. So 5.7 is what? Normal. 5.7, yes, is normal. So if your blood sugar range is in the range of 5.7, yes, your blood sugar is normal. It's considered normal. Okay? That is considered normal. That is considered normal. So I may post this. All right. So 5.7 is normal. All right. Let me see another question. Let me remove it, and then I got another question I'm going to share with you guys. So this question is 7.8 blood sugar higher after eating. Okay. 7.8 higher. Well, your sugar level is supposed to be between, some say 4.5 up to 7. Anything above 7 is higher. So results are interpreted as follows. Okay. Less than 140 milligram per deciliter, which is 7.8 after 2 hours, is considered healthy because you just finished eating. Okay, because you just finished eating. Let me you just finished eating, so it's considered healthy. So 7.8 blood sugar after eating is considered healthy. Okay. So the answer is results are interpreted as follows: less than 140 milligram per deciliter, or 7.8 millimole per liter after 2 hours is considered healthy. 140 to 199 milligram per deciliter, which is 7.8 millimole per liter, okay, and 100, that is an 11.0 millimole per liter is diagnosed as prediabetes. So if your blood sugar level is 7.8 after eating, that is, you take your blood sugar again after 2 hours, is considered healthy. Okay, after 2 hours is considered healthy. But if it is 140, okay, to 199 milligram per deciliter, okay, per deciliter, that is 7.8 millimole per liter, and 11 millimole. So between 7.8 and 11 millimole per liter is diagnosed as prediabetes. So if your result is 7.8 2 hours after eating, is considered healthy. Is considered healthy. Okay. So that answers your question. That answers your question. All right. So if your blood sugar readings is 7.8, blood sugar higher after eating, 2 hours after eating, is considered healthy. But if it is between 140 to 199 milligram per deciliter, that is 7.8 millimole per liter, or 11 millimole per liter, is diagnosed as prediabetes. Okay, so have that in mind. Have that in mind. Okay. Recommended, if you look at this, what is the ticker, what is scrolling across the page, if you look at the ticker, you have to read it. It says recommended blood sugar range for pregnant. No, I'm going to go to that. It says recommended blood sugar level can help you determine, okay, can help you determine whether your blood sugar is in the normal range. Okay, so I've answered that particular question. Keep sending in the questions. Once you send in the questions, I'm going to give you guys the answer, and then I will continue what I'm discussing. Okay, so I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hide this one now. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this. All right. So keep sending in the questions. That is what I want to do today. Keep sending in the questions, and then okay, so let me continue what I'm discussing before. All right, let me continue what I'm discussing before. So now, your recommended blood sugar range can be impacted by a variety of factors. There are several factors that can be, have an effect on your blood sugar range. Okay, let me let you guys know what can affect your blood sugar range. Okay, what can affect. Okay. Now, however, your blood sugar target level may vary from the general recommendation due to one, your overall health can determine your blood sugar target level. Number two, your age also can have an effect on your blood sugar levels. Number three, the presence of other health conditions known as comorbidities can be also have an effect on your blood sugar level. And number four is the length of time you have diabetes can also determine your blood sugar levels. So, however, your blood sugar target level may vary from general recommendations due to certain conditions. And I said, one, your overall health can determine your blood sugar target levels. Two, your age also plays a role in determining your blood sugar level targets. And number three, the presence of other health conditions can also have an effect on your blood sugar target. And then number four, the length of time you have diabetics can also determine your blood sugar levels. So now let's look at the recommended blood sugar. Let's look at the recommended blood sugar ranges. We're going to look at the recommended blood sugar ranges. Okay. Let's look at the recommended blood sugar ranges. As you know, either your doctor or your healthcare professional will let you know what the target range should be for you based on your health and medical histories. So your doctor will determine based on your history, medical history, and your health, what is going to be your blood sugar ranges. Now let's look at the recommended blood sugar range for what are the recommended blood sugar range for adults with type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes, and I'm also going to look at children with type 2 diabetes. Okay. Now, according to the American Diabetes Association, these ranges are recommended for adults with either type 1 or type 2 diabetes and for children with type 2 diabetes. So we're going to look at the ranges for adult that has either type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes or children with type 2 diabetes. And also, I'm going to also give you the ranges for women that are pregnant, what are going to be their blood sugar ranges. Okay, so now we're going to take a look. What are the blood sugar ranges for adults with type 1 and type 2 diabetes and children with type 2 diabetes? Okay, so now let's look at, I'm going to give you guys the blood sugar ranges for adult. Okay, for adult. For adult with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Okay, so now if you are fasting, this is for adult with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Okay, fasting before eating, your blood sugar is supposed to be between 80 to 130 milligram per deciliter. Okay, that is fasting before eating. Before eating, your blood sugar is between 80 to 130 milligram per deciliter. And then 1 to 2 hours after meal, lower than 180 milligram per deciliter. So if you have type 1, type 2 diabetics, fasting, that is before meal, before you eat, your blood sugar range is supposed to be between 80 to 130 milligram per deciliter. Then 1 hour to 2 hours after meal, lower than 180 milligram per deciliter. These are for adults that has type 1 and type 2 diabetics. Okay? These are for adults with type 1 or type 2 diabetics. Okay? Now, ranges are adjusted for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes, pregnant people, and people with gestational diabetes, as outlined in the chart that I'm going to provide to you guys now. So these particular ranges that you see on my screen now is for type 1 or type 2 diabetes adult. So if you're an adult that has either type 1 or type 2 diabetes, your sugar range is supposed to be, if you are fasting, that is before you eat, your blood sugar range is supposed to be between 80 to 130 milligram per deciliter, or 1 hour to 2 hours after meal is supposed to be lower than 180 milligram per deciliter. Okay, that is your blood sugar range. Now let's look at blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. Okay, let's look at blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1, type 2 diabetes. So I have another question. Let me take this question and then we can proceed. Yeah, I've answered the question. I've answered. Let me answer this question. Let me share with you guys here. Somebody sending me a question and says, I'll come back to this. Let me answer this question. I'll come back to this. Children under 18. A question coming now. What should a 65-year-old blood sugar range is? Okay, people at that age, people at the age of 65 experience hyperglycemia all the time. If you are that age, you must be battling with high blood sugar. Okay. People at that age, if you are at the age of from 50, 55 up to 65, 60, 65, what should a 65-year-old blood sugar be? Okay. The answer is, you see, if you are at the age of 65, okay, you will be battling with hyperglycemia, which is high blood sugar. Okay, hyperglycemia, also known as high blood sugar, is a serious problem for older adults, and it can have a severe consequences when untreated. Okay, adult at that age. Okay, adult at that age. Adult at that age is adult over the age of 60 should try to maintain glucose level between 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. So the question I received is, what should a 65-year-old blood sugar be? And then I said, people at this age, if you have a parent, a grandparent that is above from 60 to 65, 70, and they're diabetic, from personal experience, if you have an aging parent within this age bracket, you see that they are battling with all the time is their sugar level is too high. Rarely you see them battle with low blood sugar. Most of the time, they battle with high blood sugar because at that age, they need a lot of carbohydrate. They need a lot of food to gain strength. So because of those, they eat mostly all the time and consuming a lot of carbohydrate, there's a tendency that their blood sugar is going to be high. So at that age of 65, they will be experiencing hyperglycemia. Their sugar level will be too high all the time. That is one factor. But the question now, at that age, if you have a child, or if you're a caregiver, you have an aging parent that is battling diabetes and they're experiencing hyperglycemia, you have to do all you can to make sure you control that sugar level to be normal. Because at that age, they are that age, they are aging. Their sense of responsibility or thinking is aging. So you as a child or caregiver will now put your foot on the ground to make sure, despite they need distance all the time, to make sure that the sugar level stays within the range of that target range. So you have their battling hyperglycemia. So, and at that age, their sugar level is supposed to be adult over the age of 65 to try to maintain a glucose level between 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. So if you are above 60 and you are battling diabetes, you have to try as much as you can. Or if you're a caregiver and have an aging parent, make sure that their blood sugar, their glucose level is between 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. Okay? Make sure that their glucose level is between 100 to 140 per deciliter. All right? Let's go to some advertisement now and then try to invoke, remind my new subscribers or those that have not subscribed to my page to kindly do so. If you have not subscribed to my page and this is your first time, please subscribe to my page. Okay, Living with Diabetes or Managing Diabetes. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and then share. All right. I thank you in advance. If you have not subscribed and you're going to subscribe, I thank you in advance. Do not forget to subscribe to my page, give me a thumbs up, and then comment and also share. All right. So let's get back to what we are discussing now. So adult over the age of 60, okay, should try to maintain glucose level between 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. Because I'm answering the question, somebody asked, what should a 65-year-old blood sugar level be? And then I said, two things. If you are that age, you're going to be battling with hyperglycemia all the time. And then it's your responsibility to make sure that your blood sugar level stays within the range. And then adult over the age of 60 to 65 should try to maintain a glucose level between 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. Okay, 100 to 140 milligram per deciliter. Now, let's go back to what I was discussing before. Let's go back to what I was discussing before. We're talking about the children. Okay. I said, what are the sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes? This is what I was discussing. Let me see this question here. All right. I'm still waiting for questions to come in. I'm ready to answer questions today. All right, so let's get back to what I was discussing while I'm waiting for questions to come in. All right, so I've given you guys the blood sugar range for adults that have type 1 and type 2 diabetes. I've given you guys the sugar range for adults that are battling. Okay, this is, first of all, this is what I'm discussing now. Blood sugar level chart for type 1 and type 2 diabetes is what I'm discussing now. And then I've given you guys the blood sugar level charts for adult with type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Now we're going to discuss what is the sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. Is what I'm going to be discussing now with you guys. Okay. So, and I said, according to and I did said before earlier, according to the American Diabetes Association, these ranges are recommended for adults with either type 1 or type 2 diabetes and for children with type 2 diabetes. Okay, so now the blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes is what we're going to be discussing now. And then this question says, okay, now the blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes is what you are seeing on the screen. Okay, it's what you are seeing on the screen. Fasting, that is before you eat. This is for children under 18 years old with type 1 diabetes. Okay, so 90 to 130 milligram per deciliter. That is before eating. Now, bedtime and overnight is 90 to 150 milligram per deciliter. Okay, fasting before eating is 90 to 130 milligram per deciliter. Bedtime and overnight is 90 to 150 milligram per deciliter. This is the sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. With type 1 diabetes. Okay. With type 1 diabetes. I want to give you time for you guys to I want to give you guys time for you guys to write it down before I continue. So I think we're making progress. So this is the sugar range, blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. This is their sugar range. Okay. Blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes, okay, is what I just posted in the fasting before eating is 90 to 130 milligram per deciliter, and the bedtime and overnight is 90 to 150 milligram per deciliter. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys the recommended blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes. Okay, for type 1 diabetes, we're going to go there, and then I'm going to give you guys I'm waiting for questions. Waiting for questions. I'm waiting for questions. So if you have any question, keep sending it. I wanted to discuss questions today, but okay. I'm gonna get there. There is a question. Let's see what question is coming up. Oh. About two. I'm coming to your A1C. Somebody's asking me what is. I'm going to come to that question. I wanted to come with. I'm getting a question now on that. I'm getting a question now on that. I wanted to discuss this. Let's tackle this question. Somebody's asking me what is the normal A1C for a 70-year-old. It's what I'm going to. I'm coming to that area, but I'm going to tackle it now. Okay. Okay. I'm going to tackle it in a. I have another question. What is a normal A1C for a 70-year-old? Okay. What is a normal A1C for a 70-year-old? Okay. What is a normal for 70 years old? A1C from 7% to 7.5% for healthiest older people, depending on whether they are taking drugs that can cause hypoglycemia. Okay, so you should aim between 7 to 7.5% for healthiest older people. So if you are 70-year-old, you should target your A1C level should be targeted between 7 to 7.5% for healthiest older people, depending on whether they are taking drugs that can cause hypoglycemia. You guys know this hypoglycemia is when your sugar level is below the normal level. All right. So let's go back to what I'm discussing before. So we are now going to discuss about what is the recommended sugar level for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes. Okay. Recommended blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes is what that's the next thing we are going to talk now. What is the recommended blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes? Is what I'm going to discuss now. Now, let's go. Fasting before eating, that is before eating lower than 95 milligram per deciliter, 1 hour after a meal, 140 milligram per deciliter, or less than 2 hours after meal is 120 milligram per deciliter or less. So this is a blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes. Okay, recommended blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes is, okay, fasting before, that is before eating, you're lower than 95 milligram per deciliter, that is before eating, it's supposed to be lower than 95 milligram per deciliter, or 1 hour after meal, it's supposed to be 140 milligram per deciliter, or less than 2 hours after meal, in between 1 hour to 2 hours, but less than 2 hours after meal, it's supposed to be 120 milligram per deciliter or less. Okay, so this is the blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes. Okay, this is the blood sugar range for pregnant people with type 1 diabetes. Okay, let me look at, there's a question coming in here. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you guys. The next one I'm going to do now is blood sugar range for people with gestational diabetes. Okay, blood sugar range for people with gestational diabetes is what we are going to talk about now. We're making progress. Okay, so now your blood sugar range for people with gestational diabetes. Okay, is what I'm going to. So now, if you have a gestational diabetic, your sugar level is supposed to be, if you are fasting, that is before eating, it's supposed to be lower than 95 milligram per deciliter. Okay, it's the same thing with the pregnancy one. It's also the same thing with the pregnancy one with type 1 diabetes. So fasting before eating, lower than 95 milligram per deciliter. 1 hour after meal is 140 milligram per deciliter, or less than 2 hours after meal. That is between 1 hour to 2 hours. The less than 2 hours supposed to be up 120 milligram per deciliter or less. It's the same thing with if we go back, I just showed you guys. If we go back to the pregnancy, where is the pregnancy one here? Yeah, if you go back to the pregnancy, yeah, if I go back to the pregnancy, recommended blood sugar range for pregnancy people with type 1 diabetes, and then if you go back to the range, you can see that it's the same thing with gestational, because gestational occur, people have gestational diabetes occur during pregnancy. So this pregnancy and the gestational is the same thing. So if you go to gestational again, I look at the target range, they are the same thing. So gestational and pregnancy with type 1 diabetics have the same ranges. Okay. So now let's look at recommended blood sugar if you don't have diabetes. These are for those people that are not diabetic. If you are not diabetic, then your sugar range, you don't need to worry. So if you are not diabetic, this is your sugar range. That is, fasting before meal is 99 milligram per deciliter or below. Okay, or below. Then 1 hour to 2 hours after a meal is supposed to be 140 milligram per deciliter or below. Okay, so fasting before eating is supposed to be 99 milligram per deciliter or below. 1 to 2 hours after meal is 140 milligram per deciliter or below. So these are recommended blood sugar if you don't have diabetes. Okay, so I've given you guys 5 ranges. I've given you guys 5 ranges of what. Let me go. This is what I'm discussing today: blood sugar level chart for type 1, type 2 diabetics. I've given you guys the blood sugar level chart for type 1, type 2 diabetes for adults. Okay, I've given you guys that, and then I also giving you guys the blood sugar range for children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. They are children under 18 years with type 1 diabetes. I've given you guys the blood sugar range. And also for pregnant people or gestational diabetes with type 1 diabetes, I've given you guys the blood sugar level chart. Okay. Now, for people without diabetics, I've given you guys the chart. Okay. Now, somebody asked me a question about A1C level. Okay. And I've answered those questions also. Someone asked me a question about A1C level for a 70 years old person. Okay. I had a question earlier on. Somebody asked what is a normal A1C for a 70 years old? And I did answer by saying A1C from 7% to 7.5% for the healthiest older people, depending on whether they are taking drugs that can cause hypoglycemia. Okay, so if you are 70 years old, your A1C level is supposed to be between 7% to 7.5%, depending if you are taking any drug that can cause you to have hypoglycemia. All right. Now I'm going to share a screen with you guys here. Let me see how I can do it. I'm going to share a screen with you guys here. And then let's share this screen with you guys. Okay, I'm going to share this. All right, so this is what I'm going to share. Let me remove this with you guys. Okay. This is what I can get from my medical journal. So look at all the, if you can zoom it from your phone, okay. If you can zoom it from your phone, this is your blood sugar range. Okay, you could look at here, look at the line here. See where my arrow is here? It has a different format. I gave you different format. You see the green line here says pre-diabetics. Okay, it says pre-diabetics. Then this one here says, let me take a look at it one more here. Okay, no. All right. Okay, excellent, good, action suggested. Okay, let me go back. All right. Now, you see this one here, where my arrow is here, it says excellent. The green, when your blood sugar range is within this green line, it says excellent. It means your sugar range is good. If it is within this yellow line, these two yellow bars here, it's good. Okay, it means your sugar range is, your blood sugar is good. But this is excellent. If it is within these red lines, red bars, it means action required immediately. It means your sugar level is too high. Okay. If it is within these red lines here, these red bars, it means action required immediately. It means your sugar level is too high. So the green here suggests excellent. The yellow bars suggest good. Okay. So I gave you guys different formats. Okay, this is how we use it here. You see, in Africa, they only give you a number. They just write a number, but in North America, this is when you go for a blood test, this is how your result comes out. So that when somebody sees it, it can interpret it. In Africa, they just write a number there with a hyphen there, and sometimes when you look at it, you can't even understand what they're writing. But in North America, when you go for a blood test, when your result comes out, this is how it comes. Okay, you'll be able to understand it. Okay, this one, it can come in this form. You see these green lines here? This green line means good. You know, fasting, okay. Okay. All right, let me go back. So you see this one here, this one with the human being here, it's the same thing with this one here, but in a different format. So the green line here shows is good, excellent. Normally, when you go for a blood work, if it shows green, it means normal, excellent. Yellow means good, but it's a warning sign. Yellow means it's a warning sign. Watch it. So make sure you turn this yellow line to green. Green means excellent, good, excellent, normal. When it's on the yellow line, it's a warning sign that listen, your blood sugar is picking up. Yeah, so all they are telling you is to convert these two yellow lines back to green. Okay, so this green means excellent. This yellow line says good, but it's a warning sign that your sugar level is getting higher on a pre-diabetes and it's going to cross over to the red line. So when it is good, it says good here, but it's a warning sign that you should convert this yellow line to green to be excellent. The same thing here, there are different ways, okay? The same thing here, the same thing here. So this is how the result in North America, when you go for a blood work, when your result comes out, this is how it looks like. In Africa, they only write a number on a piece of paper and give you. Even you cannot even understand it. Now, if you look at your A1C level here, look at your A1C level here. 7 says good. This is good here. See, it says good. Let me check here now. So your A1C level, when it is here, it says good. When it's on the red 9 and 10, it says your A1C level is bad. Okay. So when you go in North America here, when you go for a blood work, when your result comes out, this is how it comes out in this form. They don't just write a number. This is how they write our result comes out here. That even a grandmother can interpret it and understand. Like in Africa, they just write a number there and give you, and then sometimes you get confused with what they're writing there. But this is how the result look like. So when you see the green, it means excellent. Yellow is a warning sign, meaning good, but try to convert this yellow line to green. Don't allow it to go to red. So this is your diabetic range. Okay? If you can zoom it on your phone to see it clearly, then that's good. All right, so I wanted to share this with you guys. So I'm going to go back to this. All right, so I don't know whether to discuss. I wanted to answer questions today. Okay, so maybe next week we're gonna next weekend we're gonna discuss about A1C levels. That's what I'm gonna do next week. I'm gonna discuss about A1C levels. So since there's no questions, okay, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your Sunday, and then we're gonna meet again during the week and to discuss about A1C. It's gonna be A1C. I have about 4-5 topics I need to discuss with you guys, but I'm going to see how I can do it and let you guys know. So, in the absence of any other questions, let's see some other time. Enjoy your weekend and stay blessed. Goodbye. Goodbye, bye, bye, everyone. Do not forget to subscribe to my page. Do not forget to share and leave a comment. I'm going to see you guys next weekend broadcast. Goodbye.